Well, we have a situation today. Last night, I discovered, fortunately, a situation where we have a leak on a CPVC pipe up behind this air exchanger in the family room in the other room. I have a ceiling in there that is built around the pipes and whatnot, so I have access from this side. But we noticed a water spot I'll show it right here. I'll show it right up there. We noticed a water spot up on the ceiling, and what's interesting is there's no water on this side of the house. Now, we were getting some rain yesterday, but the rain, we've been here for over 20 years. There's nothing that should have caused the water to be where it was at. So the only thing that I could deductive reason was we have our water heater right there, and the water heater's pipes, we got a cold water line coming in, and then the hot water line on the left goes out. Well, it is the left water line, so it's a 3/4 inch pipe. It goes up and then it goes along the entire basement and feeds all the other lines in the house. Well, that's leaking at a fitting, and I'll post a photo of that right here, and I'll show you that fitting later. But that's leaking at a fitting right there, which is just above and behind this air exchanger. So to get at this situation, I have to drop the air exchanger, and what I'm going to do to fix it is I'm going to cut that pipe, and I'm going to cut the pipe here on the water heater, and I'm going to use a SharkBite fitting with a PEX pipe in between. Now, it's going to be a red PEX pipe. This is not the permanent fix. Now, in doing some research, and I had heard this about a year ago, that this FlowGuard Gold CPVC is having some issues, and that there's some pending lawsuits with this CPVC because over time it starts to crack and get brittle. Well, I've lived here for over 20 years. We did nothing there, and all of a sudden it just started leaking. So we were dealing with the situation. Right now the house doesn't have any hot water. I'm just wanting to get back up and running. But what this does reveal is I may have to assess the entire plumbing situation in my house. We may have to take out all the plumbing in the house where there's the CPVC and replace it. What I would do is PEX. I would do PEX runs from every bathroom water location in the house down to a manifold, they call it. So you have the water coming into the manifold and then going out to its prospective areas or respective areas, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the word is. What's the right word? But anyways, so I do a manifold type setup down here so it wouldn't have that home run type situation. But that's going to be a lot more work. So today is just going to be getting the house back up and running while I make a decision on what we're going to do. If we do decide to do the entire plumbing in the house, I will be doing that myself. So I'm not going to pay someone $40,000, $50,000, which I'm hearing is the cost to come in and do it. What I can do is I can find out where this plumbing is running, and I would take it upon myself to do that. But how these bad CPVC pipes are approved to be used in these homes, and then knowing that houses from the 80s are having the same issues is beyond me. But these are not built to last. So if you're looking at building a home, I would ask right now, are you using CPVC? Copper's not used much anymore, but definitely go with PEX, because right now, 20 years later, I'm living here, don't intend to move anytime soon. Couldn't move now anyways until like this is situated, this is remedied, but dealing with the plumbing issue. So with that, I'm going to start taking off the pipes on the top of this air exchanger. I got to remove this on the bottom, and then we're going to disconnect that and pull this down, and then that will allow me to get at that pipe, and I'll show you a little bit more. So first things first, we're going to get this removed and get access to that pipe up there, and we'll talk about it a little bit more once we get up there. All right, so it's a little tough to see, but there's 4 pipes that come into the top of this air exchanger. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just unplug it from the wall here. So this is now stopped running. These are connected here at the ceiling. They got these hooks on them, and this vibrates and moves around, so they don't anchor it tight, but it is on chains, and these chains have springs on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect these pipes so I can free it from what it's stuck to, and then I might need some help from somebody. Just depends on how heavy this is, but I'm going to need some help from probably my nephew to lower this down carefully, and that will allow me to get at the pipe that I need to back there. So we're just going to get started on this. All right, so rather than losing my screws, I got this little magnetic tray to grab my stuff with. Yeah, there's no one on the back there, so that's good. Looks like they're just held on with these front screws, which are accessible, which is good. And then these 2 back here are held on with straps, so I'll just cut those, and then I can restrap them. And of course, it's really dusty. Sometimes you can't use power tools, you just gotta do it the hard way. All right, we are free. Okay. Now, a lot of times, here, I'm going to show you this here. So I got to get there's a controller box upstairs, and that runs down to here. Now, mind you, this is all unplugged, but you'll want to take photos, even though that this says this is Y, red, green, blue. Obviously, this isn't yellow, this is white. So you always want to take pictures of where your wires go, because to lower this unit down, I need to unhook these wires. So I'm going to take a picture of this, or I have this video, and get this removed so I can pull that wire out, and then we're all set to lower this unit down. All right, so that is what we're dealing with. That was a very, very, very strong drip last night. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the pipe right about here. I have to be very careful not to shake the pipe too much, because if this is starting to go bad, I got other pipes down the road or down the way that feed from this that could be impacted if I create too much vibration. So frankly, I was very lucky that this was where it started to be compromised, or at least where I know for right now it's being compromised. But I know that I got bigger problems probably down the road here. So, but we're gonna start with this. Now, the first big thing that I want to do is I want to cut a straight line, and that allows me. This is part of SharkBite. If you wanted to release a SharkBite, you could use this tool to release it, but I can snap it on the pipe and it gives me a straight line. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one right here. I got my one marked up there, but if I'm going to have a water issue, I'd rather have it be a water issue where I have it accessible versus not accessible. So I got a towel. I got a big towel that I'm laying down just in case I start to have a water issue. I do have access to my water main. So I have this tool. I've used these before. These work really, really well. I am going to do a SharkBite fitting right onto here and then come up. So I'm not going to need this fitting at all anymore. So what this does is you just turn this like this, and then you slowly turn this dial. You want to be very careful. Take your time, and you want to make sure that you know that there's not water in this line, because if it was pressurized, it would go. But I've shut off the water to this, and I have hot water valves open upstairs and throughout the house. There. So that's a nice clean cut. That's what that's designed for. So I feel good about that cut. A little bit of it's a little bit of water there. But now I know that when I go to cut this up over in here, there's no water in it. Actually, it'd be better if I could use this as a guide. Kind of like that. So I just want to take this slow. Forgot to put my towel up there. Big dummy. I don't want to torque on this too much. I'm in. I gotta pry these off. I got a strap here and a strap up there that gotta come off. So this is the depth gauge. I actually just want to make a mark so I know that I'm seated properly when I push the SharkBite fitting on there. Now I just got to figure out what's going to be my most efficient means to get this in here. I'm going to figure that out here and then I'll get back at you. All right, I'm up in my living room right now, and the one thing that I want to do is I'm gonna, oh, that is a deep burring tool. So it's got something in there that cleans it up. Look at that. So I'm gonna mark that like that. I got a dog helper with me right now. That's how deep that's supposed to go. So if I put this SharkBite fitting on here, there, that's set up. So now I got the other one marked down there. I'm gonna go fish this through, and I'm gonna cut this in half. So this is a 20-foot piece. I got this for 17 bucks. So I'm gonna cut this a little shorter so I can make it downstairs. So a little bit of a change of plans. Got these angled SharkBites that I'm going to use instead. So that went on there like that. Now when I marked that, I was over a little bit, so I'm not worried about it being right on that line. All right, well, I ended up doing a little bit of a different plan than I had thought. I'll shine some light on this in here. Get a better light over here. So I ended up doing a little bit different of a plan. I was gonna try and figure out how to bend the pipe, but that didn't work out. What I ended up doing, I had bought several elbows. So what I ended up doing was these SharkBite 90 degrees, and I really just redid the pipe the exact way it was back up there. And so now it's actually ready to go, and I can test things right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn on the water, kind of ease back into things, fill them up. I'll keep the valves open on the other side, and I'm gonna let this thing heat back up and just watch these fittings and make sure that they hold. So we'll be back at you here in a little bit. All right, well, we are back in business. I got that hooked back up. It's a little noisy in here because the water heater is running, but it's working. And that was the biggest thing, is getting the thing back in functional order. Now everything can dry out up there. I might put a dehumidifier. It hasn't been leaking long though. I looked up there with the camera, and it's not really bad. You know, it's a little moist up there. It just started yesterday, the major drips that were happening. So I'm glad we caught it in time. I ended up having to kind of recreate all the bends using the SharkBite fittings. And for all you haters out there, it'd be like, well, you should do this, you should do that. I'll tell you what, the SharkBite fittings I feel better about than the CPVC fittings that were up there right now. If I look at this bad one, this was the bad fitting, and you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, there's like a pinhole that actually started to form in here. And that was I think that was the part that, you know, if you look at this side, it's fine. But whatever was going on this side, I think ended up being the situation that caused us to eventually get a drip. took 20 years, but I think for a while, I'll keep an eye on this. But for a while, this is going to be the setup, and then I'm going to have to make a decision on whether I do PEX throughout the entire place and go to a manifold or whatnot. But we'll keep you updated on that. But for now, I didn't end up having to call a plumber. I was able to go to the hardware store and pick up the parts that I needed. I want to say I spent, there are parts that I could return, but I probably spent, I don't know, 80 bucks. So $80 fix for what could be thousands of dollars in repairs. I have my air exchanger down. So I'm going to go blow that out really well with the air compressor and clean that up really nice. So it kind of gives me an opportunity to do some spring cleaning on things that, you know, relate to the overall health of the air in the house too. So win-win, I guess. Not something I wanted to do on a Sunday, but here we are, and you know, that's just what happens sometimes. But thankfully I was able to fix it. Never done it before, but you know, I've done other projects and I felt pretty confident that I could end up with the result that I did, and I did. So if this helps anybody, you know, drop a like and subscribe. That's all I would ask. And check back for more DIY stuff, because you know what? If you live in a house, you drive a car, things break all the time, and we fix them. We fix them here as much as we can. So thanks everybody for watching.